this is my community outreach project titled Sleep in Later Life, and it was at the Legacy at Longmeadow, which is a nursing home in Richmond, Texas. So, what I started off with was an icebreaker in which I had a show of hands on who understands sleep well, what people have sleep concerns, and I kind of went around and interacted with all of the different seniors. And then um, I ended up starting with a 20-minute talk on how sleep can change in later life. And in that, I explained circadian rhythms, how those can shift in later life, and just how sleep overall changes as you age. And then after that, I had a sleep bingo in which the seniors were able to answer different sleep myths and mark off their bingo card and work together to understand how sleep works. And then I also had a relaxation and mindfulness routine in which I explained different ways to help yourself wind down to fall asleep. So, for example, closing the lights or breathing very deeply, stuff like that. And then for the outcomes, I had around 25 people come to this. For the duration of the interactions, the intro and icebreaker took about 10 minutes. There was a presentation that as I said, that was about 20 minutes. Explaining the relaxation routine was about 5 minutes. And then I had a question and answer session in which I was answering any questions that they had about sleep. And then a sleep bingo was about 20 minutes. And then for my lasting resource, I had a sleep tip sheet and a sleep diary. So I printed both of these out. As you can see, some of them are looking at it in this picture. So I printed both of these out and gave it to them so that they can have a reminder on how they can fall asleep better and how they can go about their day to improve their sleep quality. And then I also left a lot of copies of both of these with them so that they can get more when they need or share with their friends. So, for lessons learned or things that I do differently next time, I really learned the importance of projecting my voice because a lot of these seniors did have hearing aids or they were hard of hearing. And when I started off, I actually wasn't projecting my voice enough. And I realized that I needed to. A lot of them were like kind of straining to hear. And so projecting my voice, I realized is very important. And it also helps you sound more confident. And then I also learned that one person can make a big difference because when I first went there, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, I don't know if they'll be very receptive to it, but I found that a lot of them were very excited to learn about sleep and how to improve it. And then also, I found that engaging activities can spark interest. So, in my case, the bingo activity was quite engaging, and I think the seniors really had fun with that. So, for what to do differently, I think I would find a way to sort out technical difficulties beforehand because unfortunately there was a screen that it could have been projected on, and I did communicate all of this with the coordinator, but unfortunately at the end it just stopped working for some reason and I had to present on my laptop, so it was more of a speech than a presentation, but it didn't really take away from the overall presentation I had. But yeah, I would love to have had all of the visuals that I had prepared in the presentation, but I did end up going around and showing all of the seniors in the little tables what exactly the presentation was. So for my best moments and reflections, one of the seniors had told me, I've tried everything to be able to sleep and I finally understand why and how I can improve it because she had very chronic sleep problems and she didn't really go to a specialist, but she was just always struggling. And I told her a couple of tips. I gave her the sleep tips chart and she was very excited to see that. And so essentially, being able to make an impact on people's lives and knowing that I helped is definitely an indescribable feeling. I really enjoyed doing that. And then another thing is, I found that the elderly are often very neglected, and I just wanted to kind of show that they're loved and to make them to make sure that they were remembered and not forgotten. So I feel like giving them tips on sleep and like um, reinforcing the fact that they are seen and they are heard, that their sleep is changing. And I think that was just a great reinforcement for them to explain to them, yes, your sleep is changing and this is how it is, and this is how the circadian rhythms occur. And that's about it. Thank you so much for listening.